Emily Jackson here from Great Family Adventure, and today I want to share some tips with you for flying with kids. We've all been terrified about being that person on a plane that has the kids screaming or running up and down, and there's a few things that we've done as a family to kind of help alleviate that stress and also get our kids to potentially behave. Before we get started, I wanted to take a second to say thank you to GoPro. GoPro allows us to capture those magical family moments with extreme ease. We get high quality photo and video, and it's simple, light, and the whole family can use it. So big thank you to GoPro for allowing us to capture those family moments that'll last forever. Now, let's get back to the video. First up, set the whole scene for getting onto a plane with kids. So when we're traveling on plane, we understand that it's gonna be stressful. You're slightly out of control when you're flying. You're on someone else's schedule. You can't control what the lines look like. There's a lot of unknowns the second that you enter the airport. Setting up your expectations for this is gonna be wild and crazy and we're just gonna go with it really helps the kids understand that when things are going hard or they're more challenging or the lines are longer or you're late, that that's okay because it's not necessarily within your control. So for us, when we fly with our kids, we like to tell them, all right guys, let's go see what we're getting into and kind of set the scene, you know, the feel for the day as to we're along for the ride. We're gonna do the best that we can, but it's gonna take some teamwork and everyone needs to play their part.
Where are we going, Tucker?
And my first airplane.
Maybe not your first airplane, but on another one, huh?
When flying with kids, I also find that having them responsible for some of their own things. For me, you know, I have my mom bag, which has like a second change of clothes and some different things in it to make sure that if accidents happen and so forth, I have the things I need to help make the flight a little easier. So for example, when we were potty training my daughter Parker, it was really important for me to have a whole second outfit with us when we were flying because sometimes having to find a bathroom for your kid is very challenging. And with her, she likes to hold it to the last minute and accidents do happen. So think about some of the things that are really stressful for you or the things that you're worried about happening and think about what can I do to help alleviate some of that stress. If accidents happen or if the kids spill a drink all over themselves, I'm not that stressed out because I know I've got a backup outfit. You should know is that one, when younger kids are screaming, a lot of times it's because of the pressure in their eardrums and they don't understand what to do to help alleviate some of that pressure. So if you have littles that are still bottle feeding or even as they turn into kids, there are two tricks that you can do to help alleviate some of that pressure. Whereas adults, we do the fake yawn, you know, the popping our jaw to see if you can relieve some of that pressure. But for babies, having some type of bottle, usually I would give my kids something that I knew they'd be really excited to drink that they don't get, like juice. My kids don't drink a lot of juice, but if I put it in the bottle, they were gonna pound it on the takeoff and landing when the ears tend to get more pressurized. So that's one trick that you can use to help alleviate some of that pressure for the littles. As they get older and they're no longer drinking out of a bottle, you don't want a 6-year-old sitting there pounding back a bottle. Bubble gum does the same thing. So I always keep bubble gum in my bag for both myself and my children. So I got my minty or cinnamon preference gum, and then my kids have their ridiculous bubble yum or something just that they're excited to chew that's gonna help alleviate some of that pressure in their eardrums. One other thing I like to bring with me is a surprise toy or a magazine or activity book that the kids weren't anticipating. If you remind them potentially that, hey, if we get, all the way into our seats in the plane and everyone's behaving, I'm gonna have a little surprise for you. And sometimes that's what I do with my kids. And usually it's an activity book or something that I know is gonna keep them engaged for a while. So another way I like to do that is some of the learning apps, like on an iPad, if they do have any screens. I'll go go ahead and download one without the kids knowing. Then when we get onto the plane, I'll say, hey, I downloaded this game for you guys to try. And usually it ends up with them being engaged for hours. So a few of the things that I like to take on the plane, if they're really little, it's bottles and a change of clothes. I can't say enough about baby wipes in general because you're always cleaning up something. Bubble gum as they get older to help alleviate the pressure in their eardrums. And then a surprise, whether it's an app, an activity book, a toy, a car, just something that's going to grab their attention that they weren't anticipating. Flying can be stressful, travel can be stressful, but if you're bringing that stress into the adventure with the kids, they're gonna absorb it. Even if you're not communicating it to them, they're gonna feel it. So do everything you can when engaging with your kids to make sure that the whole experience is as positive as possible, even if sometimes it means lying to yourself. Be sure to follow us on YouTube or some of our social channels at Great Family Adventure, and definitely comment what you would like to see, more tips from me and our family on what we like to do, and some things we can help to make your dream of getting outside with your kids more of a reality.